if I want to go off the grid right now and just completely disappear, could I do it?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, you could. And it wouldn't be as hard as you think. It's just a matter of recognizing that when you're off the grid, it's not you that's off the grid, it's your devices that are off the grid, right? Right now, Brian Rose is defined in your mind as you, the man in the suit who has your beliefs, your ideas, and your intentions. But to the larger world, Brian Rose is defined as ones and zeros transmitted from your cell phone, or if you have two cell phones, from your two cell phones, plus your iPad, plus your laptop, plus all the Wi-Fi places where you log in, right? That's who defines you. So if you wanted to go off the grid, in many ways, it would be as simple as just taking all your devices and putting them on that desk right there, and then walking out the door. The whole world would think that you're right there. In fact, you would be somewhere else. Layer on top of that you take your money out in cash instead of having it in credit cards or bank accounts. You don't even take it all, just take a chunk of it. And then pay for cash services with cabs, pay for cash services when you go to the grocery store, pay for train tickets, airplane tickets, boat tickets in cash.
Harder to do these days.
Only by a little bit.
Impossible to do sometimes. No?
Only if you're really trying to go and if you're trying to take the most convenient or luxurious route, it is very difficult to do. I promise you that we could go to Gatwick Airport and there would be somebody there willing to fly us out of England for cash in their private plane. Not their private jet, but in their private Cessna.
Right.
Somebody would say yes.
Okay, but they'd still stamp me at the border, and that might be an electronic footprint.
If so, we would find a way to pick an airport that didn't do, like an uncontrolled airport.
Okay.
That doesn't have passport control.
Gotcha. You're a good guy to know. All right, and so then, like you said, stay off the digital grid, use cash, and then...
Once you get to the other side,
yeah.
You can get right back on the digital grid. Because who's Brian Rose? These devices. If you and I were to step outside right now and pick a lady's pocket, where she put her cell phone away but maybe didn't lock it right away, it would take us 3 seconds to pick her pocket, and now we would have her cell phone. To the grid, who are we? We are that lady. They're looking for you, you're sitting in here, but now you have a fully working cell phone. You can still use GPS, you can order an Uber, you can do whatever you want to from that other person's cell phone. You can go right into the settings and make sure that it doesn't lock on you again.
Okay.
Right?
So I set up a new digital identity, but the money thing is harder because then to set up a bank account, you need identification.
The way that you would handle that is if you wanted to retain your money, if you had a large amount of money.
Well,
right?
if you didn't, you'd have to find a way of making money.
Correct. Which, okay. if you can start a business here, you can start a business anywhere. But my point is, if you wanted to protect a large amount of money, you'd have to send it to an offshore bank account. You would incur fees to send it to the Bahamas or to St. Kitts or who knows wherever. Right? Like you could send it somewhere where it's now protected. You're not the owner by name, you're the owner by a code, and then all of your access credentials are verified by numerical codes. So it doesn't matter who you claim to be, the person who owns that money is the person who knows those codes. So now you put it all offshore, it's all coded and put away, you cleanse yourself digitally, you jump a border, you reestablish yourself somewhere else, and now you go right back and you put in your actual code and then you bring your money back to yourself again. Right? That's why offshore bank accounts are so valuable, because they are a barrier of privacy that keeps the owner away from trackable data. That's important if imagine, it's not built for criminals. It's used by criminals. It's built for the billionaires out there who, if somebody knew that you were a billionaire, you'd be a target for 1,001 reasons. So now the billionaires have a way to basically put their money someplace where nobody knows that person is a billionaire.
And then I'd create a new identity at that point?
If you wanted to, yeah. Essentially, you would create an alias, which wouldn't be like a passport and a driver's license. It wouldn't be bureaucratically covered. It would just be a name that you choose.
And then I just stay away from the bureaucratic stuff, try to live a life without a driver's license or get some fake one to pass through the blah, blah, blahs. And
correct.
Stay off the grid. But it's doable.
It's doable and it's not that difficult.
Even in the U.S.? In the U.S.,
so perfect example, right? If you wanted to live off the grid in the U.S., you wouldn't live on the East Coast or the West Coast. You'd go into the Midwest. When you want to live off the grid, when you want to disappear from sight, you have to go to more rural places where people are more trusting in general of other people and less dependent on technology. So the same thing is true if you're going into Europe or Asia or whatever else. You're going to go deeper into the heart of whatever country you're in, which again is counterintuitive. Most people think if you want to hide close to a border. If you want to hide, you hide right in the heartland. Nobody's looking for you there.
It's fascinating. Okay, so it's doable. Okay.
You and I,
Until facial recognition software comes in.
you know what I bet you and I could do? If you ever want to do an experiment, I'll bet we could get ourselves across the city of London with no identity and no money. And I'll bet we could find a way to do it. And nobody would know that we're us in the process.
No identity. Well, why would I need normal identification?
Well, if you wanted to live off the grid, you would essentially be traveling with no identity.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, no one would recognize me, or I wouldn't have to use my identity?
We wouldn't use our identities because we would try to, what I'm proposing in this experiment is that we either don basic disguises and cover identities, like you're Bob and I'm Willie, who knows what. We start here, we pick some other location 25 miles away, we leave all of our money and our digital identities here, and we just go. And you would be shocked at how easy it is to actually get other people, like businesses, you name it, to just help you without any questions at all. And boom, you're gone. You're gone, and it's cost you nothing. Imagine it'd be that much easier if you had your own cash. It would be that much easier if you put the plan in place to put your money in an offshore account. But I've got the confidence that you and I could do it on a weekend.
All right, it's a date next time I'm in London. No, I really want to do this. Next time I'm in London, I really love to try some of this tradecraft stuff.
Awesome.
It'd be amazing. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up.
If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?